Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I am Nia. I'm one of a student from Sultan Agung Islamic University in the major of Language and Communication Science, English Education Study Program. The purpose I made this video is to explain about my answer to midterm examination of teaching English as a foreign language. Let's start it. Question number 1. Until today in our country, English is taught at school as a foreign language. Can you explain why? Why is not it taught as a second language? And the answer is Indonesian is our national language. Most people still use it as a second language. Only about 20% of our population speak it as a mother tongue. The rest speak their own ethnic or regional language, such Javanese, Sundanese, Minangkabau, Batak, and Malay. Although most of you speak our mother tongue in our daily activities, most of us are still fluent in Indonesian because it is the official language used in government, education, and business. We also have a Sumpah Pemuda which states, "Kami putra dan putri Indonesia menjunjung bahasa kesatuan bahasa Indonesia." It was mentioned the importance of Indonesian in our area. Currently, Indonesian living in metropolitan cities can understand at least 3 languages. There are regional language, Indonesian language, and foreign language. The Ministry of Education and Culture also display this line, priorities Indonesian, conservation of regional language, master of foreign language. That's the reason why English won't be our second language, because we see it is a third language. And we continue to question number 2. Please observe the case carefully. You are assigned to teach students the skill of shopping at a grocery store. You want to apply audiolingual method. What will you prepare and do? What steps of teaching will you take? Please elaborate your answer. And my answer is, the audiolingual teaching method is defined as a method which emphasizes on repetition of the words to help the students to be able to use the target language communicatively. The purpose of the repetition or drills is to break down the troublesome sentence into a smaller part. And I have each cycle of 4 stages, namely planning, action, observation, evaluation, and reflection. And point planning. Understanding the curriculum of the university and analyze it to know basic competency and apply the students by using audiolingual method. Making lesson plan, and then making observation paper to observe the student activity. And the last is making instrument evaluation. And the next is action. Student will listen to a native like model such the teacher of a tape recorder. And the students repeat the new material. The next students will memorize and opening dialogues using mimicry and apply role play. Then teacher will break a line into several parts. The student will ask and answer each other one by one in a chain around the classroom. The teacher states a line from the dialogue and then use a word phrase as a clue that students when repeating the line. And the teacher will provide a sentence that must be turned into something else. For example, a question to be turned into a statement and active sentence to be turned into a negative statement. And the next is observation, making note for all the activities of students in every meeting, identification and make note all the problem that we need when teaching and learning process. and making the evaluation which use the result of the study to know how far they improvement, and giving the students chance for giving suggestion in action research. And the next is about reflection. Evaluated the teaching learning process, then the teacher reflected herself by seeing the result of the observation, whether the teaching learning process of reading taught audiolingual method to improve the students' listening skills. If the second plan was unsuccessful, the teacher made the next plan to get the best result. And we continue to question number 3. Brown and Lee mention 8 principles of language learning and teaching. One of them is the principle of automaticity. What is it? How will you implement the principle in your teaching? Automaticity. It is clear that small children learn language without thinking about them. They learn them automatically. Thus, overanalyzing and second language and thinking too much about it form is not best of learning. To the contrary, this approach tends to impact the process of graduation to automaticity in an L2 classroom. Automaticity is the ability to do things without occupying the mind with the low-level details they are required. This is usually the result of learning, repetition, and practice. For instance, when reading a bicycle, we do not have to concentrate on the turning pedals, balancing, and holding on the handlebars, but instead those processes are automatic and we can concentrate on watching the road and traffic around us. And there are some strategies to consider in order to promote automaticity include many review, lots of peer, use of choice, giving personalized, provide opportunities for students, meaningful learning, the anticipation of rewards, intrinsic motivation, strategic investment, autonomy, language ego, and the last is willingness to communicate. And we continue to question number 4. Please do small research on literature about the role of age in language learning and language acquisition and present it here. On your presentation, mention the papers that you refer to. And in my opinion, everybody agrees that age is a crucial factor in language learning. According to Landberg, bilingual language acquisition can only happen during the critical period. There are 2 age, 2 to puberty. The advantages of early second language acquisition is in early childhood, becoming bilingual method is often too anxious even. It's natural as learning to walk or ride a bicycle. According to scientific surveys, language aspects such pronunciation and intonation can be acquired easier during childhood due to neuromuscular mechanisms which are only active the age of 12. Kids are more willing to communicate with people than adults. Only at the age of 8 does it become clear to them that there are ethnic and cultural differences. And the advantages of late second language acquisition is that means we learn a language after puberty. Adults have an important advantage: cognitive maturity and their experience of the general language system, taught their knowledge of their mother tongue as well as other foreign language. Not only can they achieve more advantageous learning conditions than children, but they can also more easily acquire grammatical rules and syntactic phenomena. It is obvious that the language learning process in adults and children have advantages and disadvantages. However, age is an important but not overriding factor. And we go to question number 5. It is a survey about teachers' characteristics in which you were there responded 3 statements with the higher scores, which means the 3 most preferred characteristics of teacher are 1. Teacher must love their jobs. 2. Good teachers are entertainers. 3. Teachers should have a lot of knowledge, not only their subject. Personally speaking, how do you respond to the findings? How much do you agree and disagree with them? And the answer is teacher must love their job. It means real life teachers get personal about their passion for education and their students follow their motivation. There are some reasons why the teaching is one of most rewarding profession. Good teachers are entertainers. I suggest that job is a necessary of element teacher education, and as its presence have to prepare our students for their careers as teacher in a complex and uncertain world. Teachers should have a lot of knowledge not only on their subject. It is essential for teachers to have a strong grasp of material they are teaching. Elementary school teachers must have content mastery in basic math, literacy, social studies, and science. They need to know expectation in development for children of different age. And I totally agree those findings above that it should be implemented to the teacher as role model in a school education world. Because the teacher, before loving the students, they have to love their job first. It presents that a good teacher is a professional who is not only teach but also they have to lot of knowledge. And we go to question number 6. When formulating learning objectives, many teachers use Bloom's taxonomy. Please elaborate the cognitive of the taxonomy, including the action verb used to signify students' ability. And the answer is the cognitive domain involves knowledge and the development of intellectual skills. This includes the recall of recognition of specific facts, procedural patterns, and concepts that serve in the development of intellectual abilities and skills. There are 6 major categories, which are listed in order below. Category 1, knowledge. Recall data or information, and the example is reset a policy quote paste from a memory to a customer, know the safety rules. And the second category is comprehension. Comprehension means understand the meaning, translation, interpolation, and interpretation of instruction and problems. State a problems in one's own words. The example is rewrite the principle of text writing. Explain in one's own words the step for performing a complex text. Translates an equation into a computer spreadsheet. And the next category is application. Use a concept in a new situation or unprompted use of an abstraction. Apply what was learned in classroom into novel situation in the workplace. And the example is use a manual to calculate an employee's vacation time. Apply laws of statistics to evaluate the reliability of written tests. And the next category is analysis. Sparse material or concept in the component parts so that its organizational structure may be understood. Distinguishes between fact and inferences. The example is troubleshoot a piece of equipment by using logical deduction. Recognize logical fallacies in reasoning. Gathers information from a department and selects the required text from training. And the next is synthesis. Build a structure of pattern from diverse elements. Put parts together to form a whole, with emphasis on creating a new meaning or structure. The example is write a company operation or process manual, design a machine to perform a specific task, integrate training from several sources to solve a problem, revise and process to improve the outcome. And the last is evaluation. Make judgment about the value of ideas of materials. The example is select the most effective solution. Here the most qualified candidate explain and justify and I think it is enough for my answer based on the 6th question. And thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye bye. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.